Bimolecular elimination reactions of alkyl halides. Alkyl halides having a beta hydrogen undergoes bimolecular elimination in presence of strong base. Strong base can be like alcoholic AOH, alcoholic NaOH, then alkoxide, then sodium amide, etc. General reaction: you take an alkyl halide, add strong base, and heating will get alkene. In the mechanism, you see the reaction will go through transition state only, no intermediate formation, no carbocation intermediate formation, only through transition state. Therefore, the reaction is a concerted reaction. So the base B minus starts abstracting H plus ion so that the bonded electrons shift to form the pi bond, and as this carbon will become more than octet, we'll leave the X minus. So there will be formation of transition state here, and in the transition state you can observe B, H, carbon, alpha carbon and halogen. These 5 atoms will be in the same plane, So we call such configuration as anti-periplanar or anti-coplanar. Coplanar means on the same plane. Anti is halogen and hydrogen on the opposite sides. And then this bond will be completely formed so that this bond will be completely broken, and this bond will be completely formed so that this bond will be completely broken, and results in alkene formation. So it is a single step mechanism, concerted reaction. There is no carbocation, therefore no problem of carbocation rearrangement and kinetics, as this is the RDS step and this is the fast step. In the RDS part of the reaction, alkyl halide and base both are participating. Therefore, rate of reaction is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide and also base. It is a bimolecular reaction as 2 molecules are participating in the RDS step. And kinetics, as it is a single step reaction, single peak will be there and products are higher than reactants because it is an endothermic reaction, elimination reaction. And rate of reaction is directly proportional to stability of transition state. Transition state here has a partial double bond character. So the stability of transition state depends upon the stability of alkene going to be formed, because even the transition state also behaves like an alkene. And we know alkene stability depends upon the number of alkyl groups surrounding the carbon-carbon double bond. More substituted alkene is more stable. So based on that point, tertiary alkyl halides are more reactive than secondary alkyl halides than primary alkyl halides, because same is the case order with respect to stability of transition state. Transition state has a partial double bond character. Therefore, as stability of alkene increases, stability of transition state also increases. So reactivity order of alkyl halide, as already I have discussed, is a point. And as beta branching increases, rate of E2 reaction increases because more stable alkene, more substituted alkene will be formed as beta branching increases. And in the transition state, there are 5 atoms present in the same plane. Already I have shown them. And beta hydrogen and halogen are on the opposite sides. Therefore, this structure, this conformation is what is called as a anti-periplanar or anti-coplanar conformation. E2 reaction of alkyl halide is a stereospecific anti-elimination reaction because halogen and hydrogen are removed from the opposite sides. It is a regioselective reaction because HF alkene will be formed as a major product. In E2 reactions, kinetic isotopic effect is observed because H plus ion elimination is a part of, or CH bond breaking is a part of RDS step. In whichever reactions CH bond breaking is a part of RDS step, in all that reactions kinetic isotopic effect will be observed. Whereas in E1 reaction, CH bond breaking happens after carbocation formation, and therefore kinetic isotopic effect is not observed in E1 reactions but observed in E2 reactions. In case of normal base, Sergev's alkene is formed as a major product, whereas in case of bulky base like a tertiary butoxide trialkyl amine, Hoffman's alkene is formed as major product, because if you take a bulky base, it cannot approach the crowded beta carbon hydrogen. It can approach easily less crowded beta carbon hydrogen. Therefore, less substituted carbon hydrogen will be removed off, and less substituted alkene will be formed as product. And reactivity order, good leaving groups always favor E2 reactions. Therefore, alkyl iodide more reactive than alkyl bromide, than alkyl chloride, than alkyl fluoride. And solvent, polar aprotic solvent, because the reaction is not involved in formation of any ions. It is going through transition state formation. So there is a need of polarization of bond, but not to completely break the bond into ions. Therefore, polar aprotic solvent is sufficient. And as already told, the reagent needed is strong base like alkoxide or amide. Sometimes you will be given as alcoholic KOH. Alcoholic KOH also means the same thing, that is alcohol plus KOH results in formation of alkoxide only. And I have given some questions for reactivity order, practice them. And these are also some of the questions you practice, and once you write the answers, I'll share the correct answers so that you can cross check them. And these are the reactions, examples of the reactions to write the products. These are stereochemistry related questions. I have given how to solve these questions in your notes. These are also stereochemistry related questions. And then alcoholic KOH is used to synthesize alkenes from alkyl halide, but it becomes tougher to form alkyne from vinyl halide. That means if you take a dihalide and do dehydrohalogenation 2 times, you will expect an alkyne to be formed, but after first elimination, that is after first dehydrohalogenation, the alkene formed. From the alkene formed, now it is a vinyl halide. There will be partial double bond character here. So if there is a partial double bond character, alcoholic KOH cannot break this partial double bond. That means its basic strength is not sufficient to break this partial double bond. Therefore, much more basic reagent has to be taken, that is sodium amide. If you take alcoholic KOH, the reaction will stop at the first step, will not proceed to the second step. But if you take sodium amide, even the second dehydrohalogenation also will happen and leads to formation of alkyne product. That is a reaction here. Sodium amide also, one more function is there of sodium amide, that is it also isomerizes non-terminal alkynes into terminal alkane. That means whatever the triple bond is that internally, that will be shifted onto the terminal position, and this is due to the formation of salt. Okay, so some examples I have given for the formation of alkynes also, for the preparation of alkynes. Practice these also. And next reaction is a dehalogenation reaction. Earlier what we have discussed is dehydrohalogenation, removal of HX. This is dehalogenation, removal of X2. And in removal of X2, 2 types of reagents are used here: sodium iodide plus acetone, or zinc plus acetic acid. So what happens, there will be removal of X2 molecule like this and results in the formation of alkene. But the 2 halogens are eliminated from the opposite sides. The 2 halogens are eliminated from the opposite sides like this. I'll write this, you see. So when 2 halogens are eliminated from the opposite sides, you call it as stereospecific anti-elimination reaction. And it follows E2 mechanism, that is through the transition state formation only. And these are some of the examples. Simply remove Cl2, Br2, Cl2 like this, and this Cl2 also like this. You will get a triple bond here. Here also stereochemistry related questions, very important. First you solve by your own, and then I will give the answers. And E2 elimination reactions of alcohols. Alcohols will undergo E2 elimination reactions either to form the Sergeff's alkene or to form the Hofmann's alkene. But to form Sergeff's alkene or Hofmann's alkene depends upon what dehydrating agent we are using. If you use a normal small dehydrating agent like a P2O5, Al2O3, Cr2O3, then more substituted alkene will be formed as product, that is Sergeff's alkene. But if you use a bulky dehydrating agent like a thorium dioxide or tungsten trioxide, then Hoffman's alkene will be formed as a product. In both of them, no carbocation formation, therefore no rearrangement. It is a dehydration reaction and it happens in the vapor phase, and mechanism is not clear, and it is believed that the reaction goes through cyclic transition state, and all the reagents you have used will act as dehydrating agents here. And I have given some of the examples. This is by E1 reaction, this is by E2 reaction, and this is by E2 with Hoffman's alkene as major product. And similar one more example also I have given. Okay, so this is a part 2.